West Alabama leads it by 5, 21-16. Snap, wants to throw out in the flat. Intercepted! Matt Pierce going to take it to 50. That's the 40. He's going to take it the distance. Touchdown, Valdosta State from about 85 yards out. Matt Pierce's second return of the day. Oh, baby!
No flags, guys. No flags.
Matt Pierce stepped right in front of him, Wes. I don't know if it was at the 15 or the 10. What a play from Matt Pierce. 22-21.
The David Dean Show, your weekly look at Valdosta State University Blazer football. Here's your host, Dick Rocky, along with head coach David Dean, for a look at this week's Blazer football action.
Hello and welcome to the David Dean Show. I'm Dick Rocky with the head coach. In front of over 6,900 people on homecoming Saturday afternoon, Valdosta State comes away with another thrilling 22-21 win over West Alabama. And Coach Dean, you guys continue to do it to us. They bring it down to the end, but as you said, at the first of the year, they found a way to win again.
That's right. You know, that's kind of the way we've done it all year long. We're finding ways to win, and you're sitting at 6-1. I'll continue to find ways to win. I'll take them each and every week, and awfully proud of our guys. They never gave up. They kept fighting. They kept digging, and they found a way to pull it out. Well,
it was just it's, like I say, it's been that way all year with this football team, but it was good to do it in front of a nice crowd, homecoming crowd, a lot of people back home, and not real clicker because we want to see a lot of stuff. Matt Pierce, what an incredible 2 interception returns for a touchdown. The last one, the game winner, 85 yards.
Yeah, he played an outstanding football game, and on the highlights you'll see him making a lot of tackles. He had a few pass breakups along with the 2 interceptions that he made. Just huge plays. I told him after, I don't know if I've ever seen a bigger play on defense than he made there late in the ball game.
And another guy we talk about every once in a while, Jack Fulford, again, really came through and he averaged, I think, over 50 yards a punt.
Yeah, he had 2 kicks that pinned them inside, one of them inside the 5 and the other one inside the 10-yard line. And when you can do that and force folks to drive 90 yards on a consistent basis, they're going to have a hard time scoring.
And I just ask you, this is the best football team you've faced all season, West Alabama. They had pretty much everything, the whole package.
I don't think there's any question. They're a good football team. You know, obviously coming in 5-1, they had all the tools. They had a great offensive line. They had a great running back, receivers, a kick returner that's leading, I think, the country in kick returns. And, an outstanding defense. Their linebacker, number 10, played as good a football game as I've seen a guy play against us. So, they're sitting in the right situation. They're a good football team, and that's part of the Gulf South Conference. All of them are good.
All right, we'll be back with the first half in just a moment.
Valdosta State University. Encouraging.
In-depth inquiry.
Hands-on experience.
Service and involvement.
And a global view.
While offering
a beautiful residential campus.
Over 100 fields of study,
Graduate and online degrees.
And championship athletics.
All in a warm and friendly community.
Get connected and involved.
Do more, become more.
Valdosta State University.
Coach, all through the season, I talk about stats, and you just sort of look at me sometimes like, they're worthless. And I just told you, if there's ever a game that statistics meant nothing, it was this football game other than the final score. They had over 420 yards of offense to 278. They had a guy who rushed for 219 yards, but in the end, they go home with a loss.
That's exactly right. We gave up a lot of yards, but when we got in the red zone, we bowed our neck and had 2 turnovers down in there. We had 2 interceptions for touchdowns. So we'll give up all the yards that they want as long as we can keep them out of the end zone. And we didn't get very many yards on offense, but we didn't have the ball very much. I think we had the ball about 3 minutes in the first quarter, and we were productive when we had the ball, but we did the same thing that they did. When we got in the red zone, we couldn't score, and we missed a couple of field goals, and had some misfires down in there, had some penalties that cost us to go 3rd and 35 one time. But I thought overall both teams played very well, and you can throw all the statistics out. The bottom line is who's going to make the play when the chips are laid out there on the table.
Right. Let's look at the first half highlights while we're waiting there. Harrison Dreiling with 13 tackles on the day. Chris Pope had 10. Here we're homecoming Saturday before the game.
Yeah, this is something that we as coaches and players don't get an opportunity to see and be a part of very much. And it's exciting when we pull down there in that Blazer Walk and see all those folks there waiting for us. And we appreciate everybody coming out. And here's the great kick returner there, Gerald Worsham. He's one of the best in the country, and I thought we did an outstanding job of controlling him throughout the ball game. And then here's their runner that we were very scared of, and you can see why. He breaks a lot of tackles. He's hard to get a hold of. He's not very tall, and he's very strong, 5'8", somewhere around 205, 210 pounds, and he's just a hard guy to get a hold of. And you look here, he's got good speed to go along with it. We've got guys that can run there that are chasing him. Great play right there by Matt Pierce, hustling across the field to make the tackle. And here we're just not wrapping up right there. We're not getting good licks on him, and he goes into the end zone. So second straight week we give up a touchdown drive on the opening drive of the game. Great run right here by David Bailey. For a big run, good blocking out there in front on our little sweep. And then here's Reggie Lewis. Boy, he does a great job of selling this and throws the ball down deep to Scott Fambro and makes a man miss, picks up a great block there by Shontavious Jones. And I didn't realize this, but that's Scott Fambro's first college touchdown. He was excited about that. And it came at a very good time. We answered their drive with a quick 3-play score to tie the ball game up. They did a good job again. They drove the ball down, and we ended up stopping them, and they punted to us, and we come back out and we run the little draw there, and then we don't run the wrong route. We run the wrong play. Quarterback's running a play, and the wide receivers are running a play, and as it turns out, our quarterback was looking at the wrong signal and didn't get the play, and then he throws the ball where he thought the receiver was going to be, and the receiver wasn't supposed to be there. So kind of a misfire on that, and we gave them great field position, and they drove the ball right back down, and they got a little wildcat package with their running back, which they do a great job of. And here's a big play right here by Ryan Smith. It's good to have Ryan back. Ryan missed last week with a knee injury. He didn't play in the Ouachita game, and boy, it was a big-time interception return down in the red zone. We stop him. A little quick screen out there to Shontavious, got good blocking, pick up about 9 yards. And I thought for the most part we had good protection all night. It's a great pass rushing team. They're very good with what they do. And early on in the ball game, we were running the ball very well against those guys. And we got down here in the red zone and could not score, which was disappointing. I really felt like we had an opportunity to put that ball in the end zone, and just did not execute very well. So we settled for a field goal to go up 10-7, and then we're asking our defense again to make a stop. And you see them right here. They're gang tackling. They're getting on that running back and making big hits on him. Little quarterback's not a very big guy, but he's a great playmaker. He makes a lot of things happen for their offense with the option and throwing the football. And good throw right here to Trey Herndon over the middle, and then another little screen pass right here to Shontavious Jones. And then, boy, what a big kick this is right here. 69-yard kick. I think somebody said that was his career best. That thing just got up and kept going, and he kicked it right over the top of their returner, who couldn't get back on it, and got a great bounce on it. And then, boy, again, you see Matt Pierce and Jeremy Grable stringing that play out. And great play right here by Timon Hudson, knocking the ball down. One thing that we kept asking our line, the quarterback's not very tall, so get your hands up. Great play right here by Matt. Makes the interception, picks up a block there by Timon Hudson, and we'll feel pretty good now. We got us a 9-point lead. We missed the extra point, which was disappointing. We started really being very physical here towards the end of the half and making a lot of big hits and knocked out a couple of their offensive guys. And to their credit, boy, they really came back down and put that points on the board right there before the half, which was disappointing. I would love to have gone in 16-7. We just had a letdown there right before the half and allowed them to get back in the game. And I think I told you this at the half. It was eerily the same as last year. We missed an extra point. We kind of let them back in the game, and we just didn't want to do that again.
And you weren't real happy. You even said that you were going to be sure that the guys knew what.
Yeah, I mean, because I really felt like, although we did not have the ball very much offensively, we were productive in changing the field position of the game. A few mistakes here and there with some penalties, but defensively we were giving up yards, but we were bowing our neck in the red zone and forcing them to maybe drive half the field and then punt to us and different things like that. But we just needed to finish off and make some better plays.
Back in with the second half in just a minute.
In each of us, there is a hero, a champion, a legend waiting to happen. This is no ordinary museum. The College Football Hall of Fame in South Bend, Indiana.
Austin Roberts, quarterback from Lake Butler, Florida. You're watching the David Dean Show.
Coach, you go up 16-14 at the half, and the big extra point, we were just talking again, no matter what school it is, what team it is, a missed extra point seems to just something you worry about the whole game because it always comes into play, it seems.
Well, it does, and you can't afford to lose points, and that one point always ends up making a difference somewhere along the way in the ball game, and that kept playing in my mind. At some point, is that going to come back to hurt us? And for a while there, it did. And unfortunately, he did not kick the ball very well. He pulled a couple of balls. I think he got to looking at their rush a little bit. But Daniel's a good kicker. Daniel's going to come back. He's going to work hard, and he's going to straighten all that out, and he's going to be a good kicker for us the rest of the way.
Let's watch the second half. They had the football over 20 minutes in the first half alone, and surprisingly, really only 14 points. So, as you said, your guys did the job when they had to.
Well, you're talking about the first drive of the half, and our first drive of the game, and then the last drive of the half is when they scored, and our defense was out there a good bit, and it's just because they had those long drives over and over and over. Here's Matt on the kickoff return. We get a nice return out to about the 33, and we come out. We miss a block out wide right there. We've actually got the corner, and our wide out misses the block. Then we throw the ball low here on third down, and disappointing that we didn't come out and drive the ball down the field. We go 3 and out to start the second half, which I was very disappointed in. Great kick right there by Jack again, pins them down there on the 5-yard line. And again, we're running to the football. We're attacking the football, getting off blocks now. Here's the play that they have really had a lot of success with, is that option. Harrison Dreiling makes a great play there on the pitch guy. And then here's David Bailey again. Great run. Good improvisation right here by Reggie Lewis. Everything kind of closed off, and he cut back across the field and picked up a couple of blocks and made a nice run. Got the ball down the field, gave us a first down. Good protection again. It's a third down play that we end up converting and ended up having to punt. Didn't get a first down after that and gave them the ball back, and another nice run. That's a tough guy because we put some licks on him as the game went on. He carried the ball, I think, over 30 times, and a lot of those he had some big licks. Here's a play they ran very well. That's their great wide receiver and kick returner, Gerald Worsham, who takes the reverse in for a touchdown. And we're moving the ball again, getting back down into good field position. Great throw right here on the comeback route to Shantavius. And we end up having to settle for a field goal, and we just pull it. We missed it right there. I felt like we could have closed that thing down to 2 points, and we didn't get it. Great play right here by Ryan Smith on the tackle, and that was a big play right there by Japri Miles, stopping them on that third down play. And then good throw here, converting on third down to Quinn Robertson. And that little naked play we throw out there to Shantavius. And again, boy, he played a good football game. Here was one right here that we were just a credit card short. He pulled his credit card out, and we didn't have the first down, so we gave them the ball back. And we had to make a stop here on defense, and unfortunately we didn't do it. they push the ball down the field, and then they bring in another quarterback and run the option right there and pick up a first down, and then they come right back, and here's the big play right here. They baited him into the throw, made the interception, and we had the sideline and just outran everybody, and it was exciting to see. I looked back to make sure nobody was going to block in the back, and he had a lot of black shirts that were running down the field, crossing a lot of white shirts, which was exciting. And we come back out and do a great job of stuffing them. And I think with about 5 minutes to go in the game, they punt the ball back to us. And because I really think they felt like they were going to stop us and get the ball back. And we put together a great drive and never gave them the football back. We were able to run the clock out to end the football game. Credit to our offensive line and David Bailey and our wideouts and all that. At that time, we just kind of put the game away. We knew that at that point we could do it. We could run the clock out at that time, and we did.
Well, it was a good win over a really good football team, and I would say as a fan, I wouldn't want to play them again this year. It's going to be bad enough what we're facing, but really impressed with that football team.
Well, you should be. They're very good. You know, we were worried coming into the ball game. They're a much improved football team. They're only going to get better. They're a lot like us. They're very young. And they're going to make some noise down the way. They still got to play Delta. They still got to play North Alabama and West Georgia just like us. So they're going to make some noise as they make a run down the stretch.
All right, Coach. We'll be back with some scores in just a moment.
Hey, I'm Timon Hudson, defensive end from Rome, Georgia. You're watching the David Dean Show. Go Blazers.
All right, Coach, time to look at some scores, and really not a whole lot of scores of interest to us, but we'll take a few here. Newberry loses to Wingate 31-29.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I thought Wingate had a real good football team, and close. Both of them are good. Again, those are two that we've got to continue to keep winning, and when they play each other, one's going to win, one's going to lose. But interesting score there.
And then West Georgia 23-21 over St. Augustine's. Don't really need to say much about that, non-conference. Albany State comes back after losing 25-15 over Morehouse.
Yeah, all those teams that are on our schedule, we've got to have them continue to win, and I know that was a big win for them.
And, Coach, I'm going to give you a score, and we'll talk about it when we come back from the break here. But Delta State 30-24 in overtime over North Alabama. We'll discuss that when we come back as we do the Langdale Honda Kia look ahead in just a minute.
I love learning.
I believe in service. I am full of passion. I embody sportsmanship.
I trust in my resourcefulness.
I like balance.
That's why I chose
Division II.
Welcome back to the Langdale Honda Kia look ahead. And Coach Dean, we mentioned the score, Delta State 30-24 over North Alabama in overtime. They drove the ball like 99 yards in the last 2.5 minutes of the game to get it to overtime.
Well, it was a very impressive drive that they had. It was a great comeback also. They had several opportunities in the ball game and let a couple get away. But Delta's a great football team. UNA's a great football team. It's kind of scary watching those two teams run around on the field. But heck of a win. I know they were excited going on the road to Florence, Alabama to pull away with an overtime victory.
And we're going to Cleveland, Mississippi, a place and a team we have had no success over the last, 5 or 6 years against. They've just sort of had the close games, overtime games, double overtime games, but they've had our number for a while.
Yeah, they have. They've probably 6 or 7 years in a row they've defeated us. They've all been very close games, and we just can't find a way to beat those guys. So hopefully this is going to be the year that we're going to do that. It's not an easy place to play. They are a good football team, obviously, but they're a better football team when they're playing at home, and we have to go over there and walk out there on their field and hopefully beat them.
Well, we saw a good West Alabama football team. Now we're going to see the cream of the crop. They're going to move up to number 1 in the nation in Division II football with the poll this week, and a great quarterback, receivers, the entire package, unfortunately.
Yeah, they've got everything. They've got great speed on defense. They've got a veteran quarterback that's outstanding, great wide receivers, big line. I mean, they're the whole package, and probably going to be a little bit better than West Alabama. Who knows? We got to go out there and we got to play all of them from here on out. Our last 3 ball games are not going to be easy, and that's part of Gulf South Conference football. They're all good football teams, and the 5 teams that are in the Gulf South Conference.
And basically, what you're saying, this is going to take the best effort your football team maybe it's had all season.
I don't think there's any question. You're playing the number 1 team in the country, and you got to go out there and play well, especially on their home turf. They play very well out there, and they have a lot of confidence playing us, and so we're going to have to somehow or another knock that confidence out.
And this is going to be a bus trip. No airplane ride for us Saturday, a long day, leaving Thursday.
Yeah, we're going to leave Thursday afternoon. We're going to practice in the morning, leave Thursday afternoon and drive to Birmingham and spend the night in Birmingham, get up the next morning and do our walkthrough at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and then travel over to Mississippi and spend the night Friday night and then get up and play the game, hopefully Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff, Valdosta time, so it's going to be a great game, we hope, and it's our least favorite place to go to. Mine, I just don't like going over there so far. It's about a 12, 13-hour bus ride for you guys.
Yeah, it's a long one. That's why we break it up. I just don't feel like our kids need to take that long a bus ride and then turn around and play. And it's going to be bad enough coming back. One thing that we will do is we'll get 3 buses so at least our guys can spread out and not be cramped up for 12 hours.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations on a great win. The Blazers go to 6-1 on the season as we make the trip over to Delta State. And you can listen to that game, of course, on the Blazer Radio Network. Kickoff is at 4 o'clock on Saturday next week. So for the head coach, David Dean, I'm Dick Rocky. Hope you have a great week.